Hey guys, it's Lego Boys E3. Today I'm going to do some challenges on the Rubik's clock. So there have actually been a few clock challenges that I've been wanting to do in videos in the past, but on their own they weren't that exciting, so I decided to put them all together into one single video. But before we begin with doing that, check out this little pattern I made. I think it's pretty cool. They're just kind of all going in a little circle, and same thing on the other side. You can also make it so they're facing like this, outwards, like that, or inwards. But yeah, that's kind of self-explanatory pattern if you want to make it yourself. Okay, so let's get this puzzle all scrambled up here. Let's just kind of turn it like this and like this. And so we'll start off with a challenge that I've actually done on my channel before. So I'm actually just going to solve this one-handed. Pretty easy challenge. It shouldn't take any more than like a minute. So let's just do this real quick. Scrambled. Looks like it's pretty good. So now we can go ahead and begin. Look at the different faces. And okay, so here we go. And go. So I think the first time that I did this, I actually did it without touching the table. But just for simplicity's sake and for time's sake, I'm just going to do it like this, because that was quite an old video, and I know you guys may not have seen that. So I'll move this up. Clock is actually a pretty simple puzzle. If you don't have one of them, then you should get one of them, because it's actually kind of fun addition to a collection. Kind of hard to reach over there to do this. But yeah, it's a pretty simple puzzle. It's kind of interesting how you do certain like patterns on it, how you solve it exactly. Like the pattern I showed earlier in the video, it's actually a pretty interesting and fun process to make it. You just kind of have to play around with the different clocks and kind of get them to the correct position relative to each other, but not actually the correct absolute position. So you see I have it almost done here. Just got to get this one last one. And looks like we are done. Okay, so now the next challenge will be a little bit more complicated. So instead of just using one hand, what we're going to be doing is only using the pins to solve it. So no using these black parts, outer parts at all. And you may think that that's impossible, but the thing is you can actually turn the clocks of it using the pins. So you can both push them in and out like this, and you can also spin it like this. So yeah, actually a pretty interesting challenge that I thought of a really long time ago. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's just turn this one, and it gets really, really weird compared to using the normal outer parts, because as you can see here, I'm going to want to turn this clock up, so I'll turn it that way, but then I realize it's actually the wrong way, and I just turn it the opposite way. So yeah, it's kind of weird. You have to think about it backwards, but eventually you should get it, and it's pretty simple once you figure it out. And I'm actually kind of holding it on the back there because it's very easy to accidentally push it in while you're trying to spin it. Let's move these up to the top. Oh, see, I spun it the wrong way again. That doesn't matter. And onto the back. But here we go. We're almost done again. And complete. And there also are some variations of that challenge. So like what I did is I just used the pins right there. But you can also do something like you can only hold the outside of the puzzle. I thought of doing that. And maybe you could like hold on kind of weirdly like this on two of them. And then turn the clocks with the other two. And it would be challenging. You'd have to like use the table to push down certain pins. You'd have to be on the edge of a table, of course, to get it like that. And then you could turn just one individually, things like that. And there's all sorts of different variations that you could do with different hand positions, things like that. I'm not going to be doing those today because it kind of just gets repetitive. But if you have a clock, I would recommend trying those out because it's kind of fun. But anyway, now to the final challenge, which is definitely a lot harder than any of the other challenges. Basically, it's going to be kind of like a half-blind challenge. So I'm going to get inspection, I'm going to be able to look at both sides, and then I'm going to start and only be able to look at one single side of the clock for the entire rest of the solve. I can do turns on it and just solve the clock just like that. And so I actually have developed a little bit of a way to do this. Pretty much all you really need to memorize is the first 4 clocks on the opposite side of the side that you're going to be looking at. So like these 4 right here, if I'm going to be looking at this side, you just need to remember which direction and how far they need to go. And then you can get them there and then move the whole reference frame and then continue the solve from the end. So I'm just going to kind of demonstrate that method real quick. Conveniently, we do have 12 pointing up in the middle, and so that'll make it quite a bit easier. We don't have to line that up at the end. And so basically, we'll look at each one of these clocks. So this one needs to go 5 clockwise. This one needs to go just 6. This one needs to go 4 counterclockwise. This one needs to go 5 counterclockwise. And okay, I think I have a way of memorizing those 4 clocks. So I have this one is clockwise 5. This one is counterclockwise 5. Counterclockwise 4, and just halfway on this one. So basically what we need to do to start is move all the pins to the back. Then we move up the 2 pins next to the one that we want to be turning. So this one needs to go clockwise 5. And so we need to take the opposite one. So we'll use this clock for reference here, and we'll move it 5 over to the side clockwise, the same direction that you remembered. And then we move the pins back forwards like this, and then we move it back to that clock's original position. So there we go. And now we go on to the next one. So we move these two out, and we turn one of them over here, in this case counterclockwise, 5. So we go like this, and then move those back and move it back. Now the bottom one needs to go counterclockwise 4, so we'll do that. Counterclockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And move those back in, and move that one back. And then finally these two, it just needs to move all the way 180 degrees. So I'll use this one for reference down here, and then back. And that's not the most efficient way of doing it, but I think that should work on the back now. So as long as we don't mess up anything that we've done there on the back, we should just be able to solve this front side normally. I'm really slow at clock, gosh. And there we go. And on the back, yes, we did it. And actually, I'm pretty surprised on that. I promise I didn't cheat at all. I didn't like look through and look at the other side during those cuts. I actually did remember those. It's not really something hard to remember, so obviously I wouldn't need to have faked it. But yeah, that's against the point. That was a pretty cool challenge. You guys should try that out because that's definitely the most fun of all those 4 challenges that I just did. And so that is pretty much it for this video. I hope if you guys have a clock, then you'll go and try these out because it's actually quite a bit of fun. And yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!